a lot of times during all of these releases, I was in the lowest point that I could have been. And I still outworked a lot of the people who are doing the same thing as me in my lowest point. So when I get to my highest point, I don't know what my work rate's gonna be like. It's gonna be insane. That's the one thing I'm excited about the most, you know what I mean?
Right, what's happening, everybody? Thank you all for tuning to this episode. Today is the 31st of December. So tomorrow is New Year. I want to wish everybody a happy New Year. And I'm so glad today to have this guy with me. How are you, my dude?
All good, boss.
Yeah.
Got to be back, you know.
And it's good to have you back, man. It's good to have you back. Last time we did a podcast was
I think
a while ago.
It was a couple of months ago.
Start
of the year, basically. My name is Igiebor. I'm based in Blanchardstown, Dublin 15. I'm a rapper. I'm an actor. I'm just a little different, you could say, and I'm just taking it one stride at a time. It's been a mad year, so I don't really know what to say about everything right now.
Cool. Because one thing I want to ask you is, like I said, a lot has changed.
Mm-hmm.
What have you learned so far in 2019?
I learned way too much in 2019.
From the last time we were here, what has been different?
I think I was just really impulsive with what I was saying and the way I was acting. Like I was really annoyed about how 2018 went, because I had so many plans and a lot of stuff like just didn't go the way I wanted it to in 2018. And like even in the early stages of 2019, like January, February, March, a lot of the way I would act, the way I would talk, and the way I would perform, the way I would do my music, you could see that I just wasn't being myself, do you know what I mean? So I think the difference between the start of the year to now, I just kind of learned to take life as it comes.
As it comes, yeah.
And just take it one day at a time.
Very good, very good. And so what has been the turning point of 2019? Like, what's the one thing that changed your whole life completely?
Oh,
that's a tough question, isn't it?
It's like
I'm sorry, I'm putting you on the spot.
It's cool, but like it's just a simple case of so much happened, so like you kind of have to decide where everything kind of turned. I think it was the start of the year.
So you've made tons of music from the last time we had a podcast. You made what's the name of
Diva Darlings came out just the other week. Then there was Heartbroke Joe in summer. There was Rita in May.
Wow.
And there was Bronson at the start of the year.
Nice.
So it's only 4 singles.
So has it been easy? As in, from each time you release a track, do you find the process easier?
I think
because you're getting the hang of it now.
I think actually doing everything is easy. It's really just a case of how do we do better than Bronson? How do we do better than how do we do better than
You're always trying to improve.
Because you don't want to put out the same level of quality. Like you're always trying to improve and evolve. But I think the hardest part of it was everybody waiting for you to blow on such a high level of recognition, and you just fail every time. Because every single time something new would come out, my friends, my family would be like, this is the one, this sounds like...
But that's a very good thing to have, like, don't you think?
Yeah, definitely.
Every time for me as well, whenever, it's not just the podcast or whatever, everything new, everything that just happened, like for me, in my eyes, I always think the greater good of it. Like for example, if I run a race, it's going to be my greatest race ever. Do you ever think like that as well?
Definitely, yeah, but then it's like it's one of those things where the numbers don't really need to define it. You should be able to say yourself, was that your best race? Was that my best song? And it got to a stage where I started letting the numbers and the growth and the recognition determine how good my music was. And for a long time this year, I was
because I remember we talked about that last time, you kind of let other people's opinion judge how you did. So it's not authentic in that way.
And then it got to a stage this year where it wasn't other people's opinion, it was my opinion.
Okay.
And then it got to the stage where even other people were like, the views aren't gonna dictate whether you're a good artist or not. That just dictates whether
That's,
you're
yeah.
what's popping right now or not. And then I started telling myself, if my views aren't good, then I must not be a good rapper. Do you know what I mean? But it wasn't until like later on this year that I realized, like, they can't tell me my music's not good anymore.
Yeah, you
they
know
can't tell me that I can't rap, because it wasn't even a talent thing. Like, I had to teach myself how to rap. I just literally had to say, today I'm gonna try learn how to rap. I wrote the worst raps, then going to like the best raps in my region. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, very good.
It was a process. Like, I had to learn how to do it. So then it's really just a thing of myself. Like, I'm always trying to outwork myself, because I'm my biggest critic. Anything anybody says outside, it never does anything for me. It doesn't motivate me. It doesn't demotivate me. I'm just like, alright, whatever. Hold your opinion. And then it's always me at the end of the day. I'm like, did you do good, Fortune? Did you outwork yourself last time? Do you know what I mean?
So, do you know, I'm glad you mentioned that at the end. Do you do that every single time? Do you get feedback from, like, do you ask yourself, was that a good thing? Was that track was good?
Definitely, yeah.
Do you evaluate yourself?
Definitely, every single time, yeah. Every single time.
Not just with music, but other stuff as well?
Yeah, have to, because I always look at situations that I put myself in this year especially, and I ask myself, why am I picking up the pieces of what I'm after breaking? Why am I celebrating what's just happened? Like, what did you do to put yourself in this position? Do you know what I mean? And it was only the other day I asked myself, why do I think the way I think now at the end of the year?
Yeah.
Because everything that happened. It's self-evaluation and an introspective state of mind.
Yeah, and to be honest, I think a lot of people, we definitely touched this the last time, but I want to repeat it again. Self-awareness. I don't think people are self-aware enough to know themselves. I've run this a few months ago. It's basically asking your true close friends, so people that you can talk to, have a conversation with, to tell them your strengths and weaknesses are. Would you be considered doing that? I know I definitely ask a lot of people, a lot of my close friends, right, what's my strength and what's my weaknesses, because they're the one that knows me well, so they can give a genuine answer. And I try to tell them to be brutally honest at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, don't hold back, just tell me as a friend,
Yeah.
what's my strength, what's my weakness. Now I know you're thinking at the moment about your strengths and weaknesses are, but to be honest, I won't able to tell you because I don't know you that well.
Yeah, of course.
But for me, one of my weaknesses are I've been told is first one is overthink. I'm sure a lot of people.
You and me both.
We
Definitely.
overthink a lot, and I've been told I'm a bit pushy as well. What the fuck? I don't know. That's what I've been told. I mean, pushy on the list. Pushiest motherfucker. I don't know. But I'll take it on the chin anyway.
Yeah, of course.
One other thing I've been told is I focus on the past a little bit, and I agree with that one. There was one phase in 2019 where I just when I lost most of my ambition and my drive, so I stuck in the past rather than being optimistic and looking forward to the future. So is that something that are you willing to ask?
Definitely, yeah. I think it's like, I've only really got one friend that I talk to about this type of stuff.
Yeah, no, but it's okay. Yes, it's good to ask your close friend, but sometimes maybe ask a few friends that. Yeah, they're not your closest friends, but
from a different side, maybe?
From a different angle, because again, your friends kind of don't want to hurt your feelings as well.
Yeah.
But I believe you have to go into that conversation, not being too attached with the answer at the same time.
Definitely, that's a really smart thing to say, and it's so true. And it's like, I think
because you have to come from a self-awareness point of view. You want to get an answer where it doesn't affect you emotionally. It won't break you down. You want to use the answer to help you grow
and build you up. Yeah. No, I have definitely. It comes up in casual conversation. If you're like, I'd be talking to my friend. I'm like, you act this way when so happens, and then he's like, yeah, and you do this when that happens all the time, and then I'm kind of laughing. I'm like, I didn't notice that I do.
Do you know one thing as well? I know my own weakness as well.
Yeah.
My own weakness is sometimes I'll bullshit a lot.
Really?
I've noticed that as well. What's that?
What?
First thing is, a lot of people that know me knows that I talk shit, but I talk shit with a purpose. I talk shit to get out of a problem. I talk shit to get out of an uncomfortable conversation. No, but it's just like for me, I like to. The one thing I really enjoy is having good company and make people laugh. Like, I like having friends around where you can be open and just talk shit as much as you want.
There's nothing wrong with it.
And there's no
Exactly,
one, there's no
yeah.
one to hold you back, anything like that.
Exactly,
Do you know what I
yeah.
mean? These are the best conversations you can have, and then slowly lead into
The deeper ones.
a deeper ones.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we've spoken
yeah.
about this before, you know.
I think so. Yeah.
We have. It was in the gym. I remember that conversation.
Oh, in the gym.
Because
Okay,
I was
yeah,
really,
yeah.
really pissed off that day, and after talking to you, I was like, you know what? Yeah, like I'm good. I'm better. Anyway, do you know what I mean?
And that's one thing I wanna. I don't know about you, but what I found in 2019 is never force anything.
You can't.
Like, as much as I want to help my friends, these are my friends. I want to help them. I want to help see them grow.
Yeah.
I want to bring them alongside with me. But some people doesn't want to grow,
Yeah.
and you can't really force them.
Man.
Forcing them will actually break them, like put them down
and put
even
them
more.
off you know what I mean?
Like, there's so many of people that I thought in my head will get together as a team and we will grow, and each of us we might go our separate ways, but that's okay as long as you can be happy and grow. Because one thing that I strongly believe, and I know Tony Robbins definitely mentioned that,
Right.
growth equal happiness. When you're growing, you're gonna become a lot happier. Where if you're stuck in your bubble and you're not really doing anything, that's when, like, you're just gonna be average. Do you get me?
Yeah.
Your
Definitely.
thoughts is the same, and I'm sure you're the same as well. Your mindset and your thoughts from 1st of January 2019 is completely different to what it is now.
Fam, like,
It is yeah.
And no, like.
And
it's-
you thought, you thought the 1st of January, like, you knew it all.
Yeah.
But it's just like, what the
Oh
do you know what I
my
mean? You thought you know
God.
everything.
Yeah, nah, like so many people had to put me in my place.
Yeah, I
'Cause
know,
Even
man.
when the start of 2019, I was the worst that I'd ever seen myself, and like there was a lot of help involved. A lot of people had to help me get through that mentality that I had at the time. And then that's kind of when I kind of realized. I said, man, I don't know shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like.
And
it was-
we were just talking in the car as well. Those people that you never thought you'll meet in your life,
And when they come in, like,
when
yeah,
they
do you
come-
know what I mean? Like, the person I can call my best friend, my brother, at the stage, I never knew in 2019 that we were going to be so close. And the
Yeah.
things that are happening to us, if you said, this is what's going to happen in 2019 at the start of 2019, I would have said, no way, you're chatting shit. Do you know what I mean? But I'm so glad everything happened. And back to what you said when you said you can't force anything. It's just a simple case of, like I said, you have to take life as it comes and play the cards that you're given.
Yeah.
Because no matter what you could say, you have a plan to do this, that, and the other. And I'm not sure which boxer said it, but every boxer has a plan until you get punched in the face. Do you know what I
Exactly,
mean?
punched in the face,
and
yeah.
life is one of those things where it hits you so hard, and it can leave you stunned and drained.
Yeah.
Like, even when you remember when you said you just had this stage where you had no motivation and you were completely drained and tired of everything. And I feel like a lot of people hit that in 2019, and it's just a case of, you know, you need to get out of it, but you don't know what to do to get out of that mentality. And that was so recent now, and it was like 2019, that was familiar at the start, January through maybe March, April, and then it came back September right up till now. I can only really say that I came out of that mentality like 2 days ago, yesterday. Do you know what I mean? And it was even a case of when I was talking about everything that was going to happen in 2020, my mom was like, he's acting like himself again. And then I was, it's mad how people who you don't think pay attention to you see the way you act and see the change in it. Even got to a stage where in school teachers were like, you're just not the same at all. Like, you lost all your motivation for my favorite subjects, the favorite things that I like to do. If you asked me like a month ago, are you gonna make any music? I'm like, no, I'm not gonna make any music. The last thing I want to do is make a song. But the first thing I'm probably gonna do after this podcast is go do another track. You know what I mean? And it's just a simple case of, yo, yeah, that's true.
And there's one quote where, I don't know who said it, God put his hardest battles on his strongest soldier. So the more stronger you are, the more you will be tested.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's a simple case of, it's like you see around this time of the year when everybody's talking about how they're going to be different in the new year, what's going to change. Like, it's one of those situations where, take the law of attraction, right? It's literally visualizing and putting down what you see for yourself. But it's not a simple case of, all right, he said he wants to have this, God's gonna make it happen for you next week, next month, next year. Listen, these type of things take serious action, and it's not hard to do at all. Even the simple case of, I'm cutting this person off in the new year, I'm not talking to these type of people anymore. Like, it ain't easy to cut people off at all. Even if they're bad for you, like, it's probably one of the hardest things you're gonna do. But it's one of those things where I'm gonna be going off topic a lot because so much is going through my head right now. But
take your time, we got
like
all
what
day,
you
man.
said. What you said about
1st of January, it's just another day. It's just another day.
The thing of God puts his hardest battles for his strongest soldiers. Like, I'm a firm believer of after every struggle is a celebration in the waiting. But it really all depends on how you treat the struggle. Do you know what I mean? It's like what Kevin's Hart said as well. No matter how you're feeling, the sun's gonna come up tomorrow. Like, I could be feeling so shit right now, I'm still gonna have to get up and do everything again tomorrow. And if I stopped going to the gym, if I stopped making music, I'm not learning how to deal with my problems. I'm just letting the problem take me over. That's probably the biggest lesson that I learned this year.
Oh, yeah, okay,
is how to keep moving no matter how I'm feeling. And I did it a lot. Like, during the process of Heartbroke Joe, guys, if you listen to my music, you could tell that, like, that was coming from the truth. Like, and no matter how you take my music, like, they can't tell me that I'm not a hard worker, because a lot of times during all of these releases, I was in the lowest point that I could have been, and I still outworked a lot of the people who are doing the same thing as me in my lowest point. So when I get to my highest point, I don't know what my work rate's gonna be like. It's gonna be insane. That's the one thing I'm excited about the most, you know what I mean? And it's the simple case of, in front of every struggle is a celebration. But it's a simple case of you have to take action to make these celebrations happen. Do you know what I mean? I can't sit down and let somebody else create my success for me. Do you know what I mean? Like, I have to say, all right, I want this for myself. Tomorrow morning, that's when I start doing it. In the next 5 minutes, that's when I start setting that out and taking that action and putting it in motion. But it's not going to be easy. Like, if I want to be the best rapper in wherever, if I want to do all of these things, God's going to put me to the test and see how bad I want it. Life's going to put me to the test and see how hard I want the life I'm setting out for myself. That's something a lot of people have to learn, like, and I'm so glad I learned it. That's the thing, it's so easy to do when it's easy, like. Yeah,
when you get shaky, again, when you get punched in the face, that's when you know.
That's when, like, life's like, how bad do you want this again?
Yeah.
Because before anything happens, it's easy to say, I want this so bad. But then,
like, no one knows. Like, again, so I'm going a little bit off topic, we spend most of our days with ourselves, with our thoughts in our heads. So treat yourself good. Treat yourself like you would treat your friend when they're down as well. That's one thing I've learned.
You need to take care of yourself, man.
Take care of yourself. I want to take care of my friends, so my first priority is to take care of myself. If I'm not feeling good about myself, I can't take care of other people. You can't take care of
anybody, man. That's the simple thing. Like, when I was down, I couldn't tell my friends that it's going to be okay, because I didn't think it was going to be okay. I have to make sure that
I'm sometimes you need to be at your strongest. You know how strong you have to be, even though when you're feeling shit. Like, some days I feel like I'm the most loved guy ever, and then someday I feel like I'm not even worth it. You get
always, man. Yeah, of course. And it's so easy to be strong when everything's playing in your favor.
Yeah.
It's not till shit goes upside down and sideways, and then you're like, damn, am I really as strong as I've been telling myself this whole time? But you just have to keep that belief. And if you don't think you're as strong, you need to find a way to get stronger.
You need to find a way to get stronger.
And it was like one time I had not even a friend, just somebody I knew was going through something really, really rough. And this is when I was being really, really pessimistic. It was like, it was good advice, but it was just brought in such a rude and derogatory way. And he was like, I'm going through this, I'm suffering with this, my family's going through this. I said, listen, fam, nobody cares, because everything's going to move regardless. And I think everybody knows that with this new decade, everything's going to be moving way quicker than we expect. But like, it's like I said, no matter how you're feeling, life is going to pick up the pace when it wants to. And you just have to be able to keep going no matter how you're feeling. Because nobody's going to wait for you, man. Nobody's going to wait for you to be okay again. It's not, I'll wait till you stop crying. I'll wait till your leg heals after it's being broken. Life's going to move on with or without you. Do you know what I mean?
The world's move on, yeah.
It's not even like when I die, fortunes after dying, the world stops, everything's on pause. Nah, man. My kids are still going to go on with their lives. My wife's still going to go on with her life. My family's still going to go on with their lives. Do you know what I mean? It's a shit way things go, but it's the way things go, and you just have to take life as it comes.
Yeah. Alright, so Fortune asked his followers some questions yesterday on Instagram, so I'm gonna ask him these questions as well. Let's just get straight into it. So the first question is, what would be the first thing you would buy when you make big bank? Your tunes are class, bro. Keep it up.
Love for the support, and the first thing I'm gonna do is buy my mama a house. By the end of the decade, I'm either paying off my mom's mortgage or moving her somewhere else.
Okay. Do you have any idea where? Any plan now?
It's up to her, innit?
Okay, cool. No, but that's a very good answer anyway.
Man, she
I'm
deserves it
sure a
still.
lot of people would like to do the same.
Yeah.
Second question is, what makes your craft different from the other Irish artists?
My work rate and my outlook on my creativity. I think my work rate, the fact that I learned how to do everything myself. Like, obviously, if I had the financial freedom to pay everybody to do everything, I would, but I'm glad I don't, because if I need to do everything myself, I can. Like, everything's in my hands. I feel like that's what makes me different to the rest of the artists. Like, and there's nothing wrong with having a team. There's nothing wrong with paying people to do anything if you can't do it yourself. There's nothing wrong with that at all. I just know that it makes me prouder of my work, knowing that I spent all those nights without sleep editing the music videos, putting the tracks together. And yeah, I don't write lyrics like everybody else. I don't rap like everybody else. Even in drill, I don't write the usual lyrics that you would see in drill. I write about what I know. And I think you can see in my music, when you listen to other people's music, what's different. It's really all in the eye of the listener and the ear of the listener, I guess.
That's a very good answer, man. That's a very good answer. Next question is, if there was anything, I like this one. If there was anything you regretted this year, what was it? Might take a second.
Yeah.
It's a good question.
If there's anything I can regret this year, I regret.
It's hard. I know. I'm trying to think of myself in that situation.
Do you know how it is? Yeah, I don't really regret anything, man. Even the little things that I overthought, because I'm a serious overthinker. Like, it's really, really bad for my mentality. But like, I wouldn't learn my lesson if I didn't think about everything so deeply. I can't really regret anything, because it's like I said, everything happens for a reason. Whether it's the best thing that happened or the worst thing that happened.
Probably the worst thing that happened is, I know it's gonna sound weird. The worst thing that happened to you made you the best.
Exactly.
Yeah, you get me?
Because it was really all about how I acted in the moment. Because like, a lot of bad stuff happened this year, but I always told myself, no matter what happens, I have to keep going, and I have to take this and learn. What was the question again?
Anything that you regretted this year, and what was it?
No regrets,
No
man.
regrets.
Everything happens for a reason.
Everything happened for a reason. True. Next question: what is the biggest challenges you faced this year?
Myself. I don't even need to think about that, man. The biggest challenge was myself. Because at the end of the day, I'm the one who has to handle whatever challenge comes.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of times where I wasn't as strong to handle said challenges.
Yeah.
And I let a lot of stuff get to me. But yeah, like I said, I'm my biggest critic. I'm my biggest fan as well. So when
you're the biggest fan. You're the biggest competitor as well.
Exactly, yeah, man. It's like the only person that you can really try to beat is yourself.
Yeah, I strongly believe, like, the only person that's going to give you a problem is the guy in the mirror, the guy that you look at every day.
Yeah.
And once you break that barrier, knowing that it's only you against you, and I know everybody says it sounds cliche, but it's so true.
It's the truth, like, do you know what I mean?
It's you the one that with the thoughts, you get me? Like, your brain can play trick on you on you sometime, but again, if you have a growth mindset, you will see things in a completely different lens. And
it ain't even about being overly positive or anything. It's literally just a case of
Sorry, dude.
Now you're good. It's literally a case of in the best of life and in the worst of life, there's always growth available, especially in the worst of times.
I believe, like, it doesn't stop. Even though when you're grandpa, there's still gonna be, like, when you're 60, 70, there's still, of course, you're going to go through challenges. I believe that. I've seen it. I've talked to people in the gym. We have this class called the cardiac and all. So I enjoy speaking to the old people and all. And they be telling me how grateful they are for life as well. And they're still going through like challenges and all. They're still growing at that age. So it's a non-ending process, and you just have to enjoy it as well. Do you have anything to add on to that?
Nah, we hear everything.
Biggest challenges you face is you?
Myself, yeah.
Nice.
You're gonna be the biggest challenge you're gonna face in the next couple of years, man.
How did you do school with all your music?
It's literally just when I'm in school, those are the days dedicated to school. When I'm not in school, those are the days dedicated to music. There's a balance in everything. Do you know what I mean?
Okay. And what stuff I've done school, like last time I was in school was like years ago, so what would you say to everybody who's listening, who's still in school and who's in the same situation as you, as in they have a passion but they have to do their school as well? How would you balance them both?
There's enough time in the day for everything. When I wake up, I have the same 24 hours as the person who's balancing everything way better than I am. It's all up to how I decide to use my time.
Cool.
The way my schedule's set up, I don't have a lot of time to use my phone anyway. So it's literally like, the way I do it, I just keep everything going all in one day, and I give myself one opportunity to take a big rest. Obviously there are breaks in between, like the way you'd have your lunchtime in school, the way you'd have your breaks in between sets in the gym. But it's literally just telling yourself, if you want it, it's there for you to do, man. But it's not going to be easy. If you have a passion, it's not going to be easy. And it's one thing, I never remember the name of these speakers, but I always watch motivational videos, and it's like, when you wake up at 9 o'clock in the morning here, it's 6 o'clock somewhere else, or it's nighttime somewhere else. Like, time travel is a real thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, when I travel to Dubai, for example, I'm an hour and a half ahead or something like that. I'm 2 hours ahead of Ireland, you know what I mean? So I'm already doing stuff quicker. Not even quicker, they're doing stuff before me. Do you know what I mean? So I have the choice to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning. Then I'm already doing stuff before everybody else is doing stuff. By then, let's just take this for example, right? Say for studying, right? If I needed to do 3 songs in one day and study 2 subjects, I could wake up 7 o'clock in the morning. I have no school, no anything. This is on my holiday, right? I wake up 7 o'clock. I can take 40 minutes, not even 40 minutes. I could take an hour to study Spanish. That's done. Take a 10-minute break. Take another hour and study English. That brings me up to what, like 10 past 9? By then, that's when everybody else is starting to wake up. I can eat my breakfast. That brings me up to like what, quarter to 10 o'clock. Then I can do 1 track, take a break for an hour, do another track. That could bring me up to like what, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Do you know how much time you actually have in a day to do all of that and get rest at the same time? I could do all of those 3 tracks by the end of the afternoon. I could eat lunch. That'd bring me up to like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. Go out with my friends for 2-3 hours, bring me up to like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. I can come in, my study's done, my music's done. I managed to do some recreational stuff. I got to go out, have fun, and then I come home and I can still go to bed on time with everything done. Just wake up early. Like, it's the hardest thing to do, but it's a simple case of, if you can, your alarm goes off, 1, 2, 3, sit up like that, guarantee you won't be able to go back to sleep.
Mel Robbins have this rule, the 5-second rule. I use that as well.
Now I know Mel Robbins.
Yeah,
now I know who she is because I watched that video. Yeah,
the blonde chick. Yeah, she's cool. So the 5-second rule is, whenever there's something in your head, like waking up in the morning or speak up in the class or anything, just count down from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, boom. There's a research behind it. It's scientific proven that there's something in your brain that just takes off when you count down from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you just do it. Just automatically takes over you. So that's one of the good methods that Mel Robbins talks about. So I highly recommend you guys to go and watch those videos about Mel Robbins talking about the 5-second rules.
Yeah,
she has books on it as well, so try it out and tell me what you guys think. So anyway, next question is, what are your greatest influences on making music?
My greatest influence?
Influences, yeah.
Ooh, there's a couple, but when it comes to making music, it's really just all about the type of message I'm trying to send at the time. Whenever I write a song, it's always about something that's happening in a said period of my life. Like, it's evident in my lyrics. It's really easy to hear, especially when I do my lyrical analysis. But when it comes to music, it's really like, it's all about what I'm trying to do with that song. Do you know what I mean? Like, I remember going to Longitude the Saturday this year, and I saw Stormzy perform.
Yeah.
And that's when I said, 2020, I have to perform. So then it was a simple case of, I need to make songs that can rile up the crowd the same way he does. Then there's Santan Dave, who's probably my biggest inspiration when it comes to music anyway. I got to see him twice this year. I was really lucky to do that. And then it was like, with him, he can make music that can make you think and make you dance at the same time. And that's something I'd love to do. Like, even with Heartbroke Joe, people were like, the beat can make you do a little bit of a move without realizing it, but you think about the lyrics as well. And it's like, it's all about the project at hand at the time. If I want to write about, say, love at the time, I'll research it the same way I'll study another subject. And it's, there's no set inspiration because it's always changing based on the project that I'm working on. So yeah, I
Gotcha.
can't. It's a hard question to answer, but like my inspirations would be probably Stormzy, Santan Dave, and yeah, probably them two.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
And what about apart from music?
Music?
Just
My work rate's really, really important to me. That's what keeps
Yeah.
me happy. And it's like we were talking about the hardest working people I know who are in the entertainment business are probably The Rock and Kevin Hart. And just watching them work so much is so like it gets me excited to stay up crazy hours of the night
Yeah.
and work on my craft and then wake up the next morning with maybe 2-3
True.
hours of sleep
why,
and be able to do it.
Why do we think that way?
Because we're not average. We don't want average lives for ourselves. Do you know what I mean?
I think because because why? Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't want to overthink.
Do you know what I mean?
it.
Yeah. But
I don't want to overthink it.
nah, like I never ever.
Sorry, dude.
Oh no worries. I'll even show you the thing. So that's
Okay.
yeah, got it. Just shout me again
So
if you need it. But
so the number is.
no, like from the youngest age, like even there, we have a lot of home videos at home anyway. We can see me acting a fool when I was a kid, but like
Yeah.
acting, directing, music was always something that I wanted to do. And I never, ever saw an average life for myself. Like, it's not even me saying I'm going to be rich, I'm going to have money. I just never saw myself living paycheck to paycheck, having a normal, average family. Even if I don't have the craziest job, I'm not a rapper, I'm just not going to be, they're not going to be like, yeah, it's only fortune, do you know what I mean? Like, I've never, ever seen myself doing an average 9 to 5. It's literally like, it's not even a case of I tell myself not to see it. It's literally blind sight to me. I always saw myself doing music. I always saw myself having a studio in my room, making platinum albums, having an amazing, famous family that are famous for the right reasons. Do you know what I mean? And you can see it in the people that I surround myself with, the way I present myself. And that's something that I lost vision of this year. I asked myself, I'm like, where am I going with this? Do you know what I mean? But like now I can see clearly what my life is setting up to be like, because
Yeah,
I know
Yeah, I like
what
how
I
you
want to
said
do. I
that,
know
yeah.
why I'm doing what I want to
Yeah.
do, because I've seen it from a young age. Like,
do you know? Have you ever watched Kung Fu Panda, the first one? Do you know who
Uguay,
Uguay is?
yeah.
There was one scene at the beginning of the film where what's the teacher's name? Shifu, and he did. I can't remember exactly, but basically in the film, Uguay said before they chose the Dragon Warrior that time, and there was water in a pool, and said Shifu, don't, just relax, and then Uguay put his stick into the water, and the water just clears,
rippled, yeah.
and then you can see
Where you look up
up the Dragon Warrior scroll. Yeah. So I think it's just, if we all stop overthinking it, I believe everything that you want is always by your side the whole time.
Whoa, that's deep.
Yeah, I just made that up on the
That's
spot.
mental,
No,
fam, that's crazy.
I didn't make that on the spot.
It's spot on.
I actually learned that from the Guardians of the Galaxy. Actually, have you ever watched it?
Yeah.
At the end, the number 2, volume 2.
Okay.
When have you ever watched it?
Yeah.
Yeah. When did Yodu die in the end?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and his funeral, and then Chris Pratt just said, so Chris Pratt always wanted dad in the film, but then he didn't realize Yondu has been his dad.
Yeah.
So it's funny. It's always when the moment is gone, and then you reflect back into
You
how much of a
realize
good
that it's
time.
been right there.
It's
you know
been
what I
good
mean?
right there. Yeah.
That's,
That's
you made me think, man.
And I'm thinking as well right now. Okay, do you have anything to add on to that, or should we move on next question?
I go to the next one.
Okay, cool. Okay, this is interesting. What is your opinion on a girl saying you're a toxic person to be with? What do I do? I say that again. What is your opinion on a girl saying you are a toxic person to be with?
I don't believe. Okay, yeah. Me and my friends talk about this all the time. We talk about, do you know this thing of standards? I'm too good for her, she's too good for me. I don't believe in any of that. I believe, and I said this to you on the car ride. Like, I might be beautiful in somebody's eyes, but I'm gonna be hideous in another person's eyes. You know what I mean?
You're always gonna be a villain in.
Exactly.
In someone's mind,
exactly. And then it's a case of toxic. You might just not be suited for somebody. Do you know what I mean? Everybody's got preferences and suited stuff to them. So it's to the point where if I asked a girl out and she said no, it really might not even be a case of you're ugly, you're hideous, you're rude, you're mean. I'm just not for her. She's not for me. And that's okay. Everything does happen for a reason, you man. And if somebody thinks you're toxic, not necessarily toxic, your personalities might just not click. And to the point, I guess that is toxic, but there's nothing wrong with you. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I want to stop you there. When people say toxic, what does that really mean?
Toxic, I guess it's the case of, like I said, you might not be suited for somebody, but it could be a case of their personality traits.
Well, I'm thinking, just don't put that judgment into someone saying
it's
they're
toxic.
It's
a really derogatory word, and it's like
Like I know, I've seen it loads of time where people say he's toxic.
Yeah, maybe I do.
What does this mean?
I think it's a case of
I never used that word in my life, toxic.
Toxic to describe a person, you mean?
To describe a person.
Yeah, no, like I guess toxic are traits that are just really unhealthy for the mind and for the what's this thing? Atmosphere around them.
Okay, fair enough.
Because I think I do have toxic traits, definitely, yeah.
Everybody has.
There's a lot of things that I could work on that I still don't work on, and I'm like.
That's when you need to ask your strength and weakness.
Yeah. Like people used to tell me all the time, like I act like I'm really nice, but realistically, like I'm an asshole, and I'm like, yeah,
really?
I know.
Oh no, but it can't. There's nothing wrong with that, like.
Not like I take it.
No, like I actually love to be an asshole.
No, definitely.
Well, just to get a reaction, because I'm with good intention. Being an asshole with good intention.
I've never heard of that either.
Well, that's it. What do you want to achieve in the next 10 years?
In the next 10 years.
Ooh. I don't.
10 years now. I can take that question.
Man, I'm only 22. 30.
By 10 years. Okay,
31.
So 10 years I'll be 26. I want to be single-handedly one of the hardest working people that my peer group know. I want it to be evident in my work. I want to, I know it's a simple case of a lot of people don't want it for the fame. Like, I can't say that when somebody notices me on the street I don't like it. I love it, you know what I mean? And then it's like in the next 10 years, obviously, like I said, I want to put my mum in a position where she's able to retire even if she doesn't want to. It's just to say, Ma, I get that you're working. I'm really proud of you for working this long, but when you want to stop, I've got you for life. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I want
I was just thinking that, actually. I was about to say something like that, yeah.
I think the main thing is just to be happy. Be happy, because even when you're genuinely happy with life, in the worst of situations you can see the best in the situation. So I think probably just to be happy. I don't want to talk about the specific goals. I'll keep them to myself.
Cool. Yeah. Not exactly what you said, because I'll be the same as well. There's no particular goal, like as in, right, I'm gonna do this. I'm expecting to be in a film or whatever.
Exactly.
Again, take each day as it comes and just be better.
I don't even think of them as goals, you know. Like I can't tell you what my aims are for this year, but I can tell you what I'm going to do this year. There's a big difference.
There's a big difference. Absolutely,
There's only a brief idea in my head. Like everything that I've thought of doing, I'm definitely doing in the next couple of months. You'll see it.
It's just the process again.
It's
like
the process.
We're talking about,
Exactly.
Any tips on getting my music out to the world?
Start small. It's like this. It's like there's a formula to everything. So the way I was saying it, it's like if you have, let's just say I made a new Snapchat today. Nobody knows who I am, right? I have friends in class that say, hey, could you guys add me on Snapchat? I'm gonna be hosting some of my music there. They'll be like, yeah, okay, cool. Let's say it was only 5 friends, right? If I post that song and I send it to my 5 friends, guys, can you give this a listen? If you like it, please do share it. Let's say only 3 people out of the 5 like my music, right? They're gonna share it, so that could multiply by 3. Those 3 people, 2 people could like that. That could multiply by 2. Even in those 2 people that liked it, 10 people out of their friends could like it. You know what I mean? Everything's always going to multiply and grow. So you always have to start with your friend group. Say, guys, this is the song I have right now. If you guys like it, I'll release it. If you release it, I'd really appreciate if you guys could share it with your friends. They'll share it with their friends. They'll share it with their friends. You know what I mean? It's a chain reaction.
That's one thing that helped me. I'm glad you said that. I can't wait to see you share this. But there's one thing that helped me this year, right? And I found this quote the other day, and it's so true. You are always one conversation, one decision, one question away from changing your life. So don't be afraid to ask just one question. Ask one question that could change your life forever.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Let's say you're in a classroom and you want to, I don't know, because that's how my mind works. Actually, I enjoy talking to people because you never know what that person could be. That person can be the greatest producer. I don't know. Let's say if you walk in the street and I don't know, just ask questions.
Yeah,
you
man,
never know what a
say,
person is going through or who that person is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, again, we mentioned this in the podcast last time. I met you in the gym just by, I don't know, just making conversation in the gym.
Yeah,
and here we are,
here
we are making podcasts.
It's so
you get
funny,
me?
man. I never thought, and like, I've always wanted to do a podcast during an interview. And when you were like, "Do you want to?" I was like, "Yeah, yeah." Tell about the first time. My music only really started in secondary school because of my music teacher. So it was a case of it's taking the big step as well because my school always does a talent show every single year, and I was in first year. And anybody who knew I wrote music was like, it's actually kind of good, you know what I mean? And I was like, I remember the talent show entry forms were like on the wall, yeah. And I waited till everybody left the class. When the teacher wasn't looking, I took it and I walked out the door. I filled it out, handed it in, and he was going through them in class, like as teachers do, going through their own business. And then he looked at it, he looked at me. Then he goes, and he's like, okay, cool. And then I auditioned, I got in, we had to record a track that they'd play on the intercom. And he told the class when I wasn't in, fortunate to enter in talent show as a rapper. And they were all like, Fortune, can you please let us listen to the song, let us listen to it. I was shitting bricks, but I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. And it wasn't even a case of, I knew it was good for the age I was 12. And they everybody just started laughing, listening to me like rapping, taking it so seriously. Like everybody found it so funny. And my music is so important to me that I got really, really upset. Like in that moment, like I was holding back the tears in my eyes. And my best friend at the time that I only knew for like 3-4 weeks a month, he looked at me, he goes, man, it's okay, it's good. Because he could see I was getting really, really upset. And that's something that I hold in my heart like forever, man, because that comfort that you have from people around you can really, really make a difference, man. Like he just said it's okay, and I instantly was like, yeah, nah, it's alright. Do you know what I mean? And I was so thankful. Like he knows, if he listens to it, he knows who I'm talking about. Most of my friends will know who I'm talking about. But that just means and meant the world to me. That's exactly what I needed to hear. Because if he didn't say that, probably wouldn't have even done the talent show. Then when it played on the intercoms, 5th years, 6th years, first year, second years, everybody was coming to me like, is that you? I just do that. They're like, that's insane. And then I was 12. And 6th years, 5th years, 3rd years, everybody came to watch the talent show. And I remember being the last act of the night, and it was me and another 6th year girl who was doing it as well. And everybody knew I was coming up, so when they were announcing me, I could hear like the screams of my friends. And the moment the moment that blew me away and certified that I want to do this for the rest of my life.
You mentioned in the last
was when
podcast,
when I walked out. I was supposed to say something as I walked out onto the stage, but everybody started screaming the second I walked out, and I was lost for words. Like for those few seconds, like I was like, how does this song go again? How did the lyrics go? And that's like every time I forget what I want to do, like that just reminds me, like going out and hearing people chant my name and scream and lose their shit over something that I love to do. Like I can't ask for any more in life. I'll do it for free even. I don't need the money. Like the money is really about to change. Like this New Year's Eve isn't different to the one that we had last year and the year before and the year before. We are entering a new stage of life. It's like what me and you said in the car. There's a specific era of people who grew up in this last decade and are now looking at things like my sister is significantly, like everybody's going to be getting married, having kids, setting up their careers like in the next couple of years. Like this is a really, really important time of your life, so you need to take it as seriously as you can. Like guys, a lot of people tell me that they want to do music and they want to do this, they want to do that. I beg you, don't do it if you're not going to put everything into it, because like even though I'm not the best in Ireland right now, I don't get the biggest amount of views, I'm not the best rapper, somebody wants to be where I am right now. I can't sit down and get comfortable. It was even in the Kevin Hart documentary that me and you were talking about as well. His friend was like, do you think Kevin Hart overworks himself? We think Kevin Hart overworks himself. His friend said no, somebody wants his fucking position. Do you know what I mean? So you need to keep at it and keep pushing and breaking down each barrier and setting yourself like...
Yeah, do you know, you're absolutely dead on spot, right? There's always one person out there that wants to be in your position right now.
And it ain't even a simple thing of they want to take it from you. They just want to be up there with you. Rather than looking at you as an inspiration, they want to look at you as a peer. Like, I'm going to work so hard in the next years that my inspirations are essentially gonna like they'll be my mates. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'll be sitting.
And
Like,
it's already
so clear
happening.
to me.
Like,
Do you know what I
I'm
mean?
sure it's already happened to you. Like, you've met people that you look up to and like you wanted to collab with,
That's
and
a
now
fact,
you're doing
yeah,
it. Now
like,
you're doing it.
that's a
Same
fact,
with me as
yeah.
well. I 2 years ago before I started track and field, I look at those people running for Ireland and everything. Now I'm training with them.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
It's crazy.
everything's taking motion, and it's a simple case of, guys, yeah, after tomorrow, with your dream, I beg you, put it all wheels in motion. Like one of my friends said that as well. She said, after this holiday, I'm glad I got to rest, but after that, it's all wheels in motion. Like, don't let them break your mantra. Don't let them break the vision that you have in your hands, because it's up to you. You can't say this didn't happen because they did that or they forced me to go out. Nobody forces you to do anything, man.
Yeah.
You have to learn how to adapt. If something goes sideways, or if something doesn't go your way, you need to be able to improvise. You know what I mean? And it's something that you'll learn along the process, but you can't forget to have fun as well. The next few years are going to be the best moments of our lives, man. It really just feels like these last few years, the last decade was a warm-up. I gathered all the information.
You're still warming up now, actually.
Do you know what I mean?
Even Kevin Hart said he's 40 now,
He's
and
40,
it feels
and
like he's just getting
he hasn't even
started.
done anything.
Same,
do you know
same
what
with
I
Gary
mean?
Vee said the same thing as well. Like, it's hard for me to imagine being 40 right now.
Do you know?
Yeah, but you know what I mean? But it just it's a really, if you think it is a blessing just to have a life, I guess, and being in a world where there's yes, it's a fucked up world, but if you look at it from a different lens, the people around, the stuff that you have at the moment, well, like you said, there's always going to be someone that wants to be in your position right now.
Yeah.
There's people out there that want to do stuff that you're doing now, but you are way ahead of them
That's what I'm saying.
because of all the work that you put in.
And I have to say, like, not even like I'm saying this in the least cocky, least egotistic way I can possibly, but like, I know I've been doing this for a really long time and I haven't seen the biggest results in anything, but I say this to my fam, anybody who's listening, Ma if you're listening, Da if you're listening, Jamie if you're listening, Sandra if you're listening, whoever, yeah, I haven't even started with the goal at hand. 2020 vision, I was thinking about it when I started. I was thinking about 2020 when I was in 2015, 2016, 2017. That's why I'm so excited for something I've been thinking about the last few years, to put it in motion. Every single song I put out, every single music video, I was testing, okay, when I need to do this for real in the next couple of years, how am I going to do it? Now I have all the information I need. I've gathered everything. I've took my losses. I've had my successes. I've learned from the lessons, from the mistakes I've made. And I have learned from the successes that I've made for myself as well. And now everybody's gonna see what I've been talking about this whole time, because nobody really believes it. Do you know what I mean? Like, they don't say it, but they're like,
I know what you mean.
And I respect
when you
it,
see
like,
when you see people, they don't like, they think you're a bullshitter.
do you know what I mean? Like, I said it to my
Yeah.
sister yesterday. I said, you know, in summer I'm gonna do my headline show, my own headline show in summer after my mixtape drop. She's like, that's not gonna work. I'm like, why? She was just like, I don't know, I just don't see it working. I'm like, no, it will. And then I'm like, I would respect it if you could tell me why you don't think it'll work, so I can fix
Some
it
people are
and
just
make
there.
sure
Some people
that
are
it
just
does
there,
work.
just
Do you know what I mean? Like,
just because they're negative in
and
the
she
head.
isn't
they're trying
even
to-
like, she just wants to
I
make
know,
sure that I know
my
everything.
brother's the same
Do you know what I
as
mean?
well.
She's just like,
My brother is so negative.
she goes, I just
some
don't want
random
you to
shit.
think that I don't want you to be too idealistic about it. And I'm like, it's not idealistic at all. Like, there is a blueprint behind what I'm talking about. There's a plan behind everything I'm talking about. I'm not chatting shit with no work rate behind me.
with no backup.
The
yeah.
work rate is never going to be an issue. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm always going to be able to put in the work. On every single day, that ends with why I'll outwork the person on my left and the person on my right.
No, well, be careful what you say.
Nah, but like, not even, like, I'm always going to try outwork myself, and that's the aim at the end of the day.
Yeah,
But yeah, nah, man, like, it's been fun.
it
But
is.
like, it's only starting now.
It's
only
only
starting
starting.
now.
Yeah, but yeah, do you listen to any song every day? Like, I know everybody has
Every
one
day.
song, not every day, but your go-to song.
There's a couple. I think yeah, it's not positive at all. It really just helps my idea of
Yeah.
no matter how you're feeling, you have to carry on. It's this song. It was from I don't know if you know it, but there was this really, really popular series on Netflix called Top Boy, and all the English, yeah, it's an English series, and all the artists from England made like an album of it together, so it's various artists, and one of not my favorite artists, but my favorite song off the album is called Listen by Getz, and he says so many things that I could relate to, and it's just like he goes, life's not nice, it's awful, it's your job to decide what haunts you, my dreams came through and made me immortal, wait, that's way too formal, do you know what I mean?
Wow.
And then it's a simple case, yeah, I'm like, yo, life is ass, man, but like at the end of the day, life's gonna be shit, but I decide what's gonna make me upset, what's gonna make me happy. And then he says so many things, like, in my area, people are gonna listen to this and some are gonna agree, some are gonna completely disagree, some are gonna get pissed off with what I'm gonna say, but I don't really care. In Dublin, a lot of people, it's always survival of the fittest and prove who's the toughest, and a lot of people think they're tough in Blanchardstown, me including myself. Like, you have to think you're tough in a town like that, but it's a simple case of a lot of people who don't like me for whatever reason think they're the toughest, but they're not tough at all. And in that song he said, them man are bystanders, they ain't bad by my standards. Do you know what I mean? So it's
I
like,
see,
yeah,
I see
so
what
like,
you did there,
when I say bystanders,
you need to show me that.
yeah, I will, yeah. Bystanders, they don't have an effect. They don't have an effect on my life, and they're not bad by my standards. Do you know what I mean? Because they don't have anything that's a threat to me. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you beat me up, like, I'm gonna wake up tomorrow, like, black eye, whatever it is, I'll be fresh, man. I'm still gonna be able to rap. I'm still gonna be able to go to the gym and get stronger. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And it's one more thing. It's like oh, the final one was the one that stood out to me anyway. Was it's hard not to dance with the devil when you're living in a city full of gods. So and it's like when you're trying.
Repeat that again.
It's hard not to dance with the devil when you're living in a city of gods. Everybody's trying so hard to live this life that God set out for them and stay positive, but like sooner or later, like no matter how tough you are, like you are gonna get dragged into that negative mentality once in a while. But it's really just all about keeping your level head and keeping at the mantra, keeping at the focus at hand. So that's probably it. Like that's my most repeated song of the year, and it only came out 2 months ago. But like I drill it into my head every single day because it's just
the thing on Spotify a few weeks ago.
Yeah, the Spotify rap. That's where I saw it. Yeah,
okay.
And I was kind of like,
who knows how that was all about? And a few of those music as well.
Songs, yeah.